Yo. What up, Facebook? What up, YouTube? What's going on, guys? How is everybody doing on this beautiful, fine day today? And who do we have joining with us today? Who do we have? Throw me a comment there, guys, so that I can lift you up and edify you right there on my screen. Who do we have? We have the one and only Christian Supreme. Great to see you, pal. Great to see you. Long time no see. Good to see you. And we've got, of course, Angeline live from New York. Awesome. And we've got Brenny Larson. Shazam! Awesome. We got a Facebook user tuning in. Hey, Darren, throw your name there so we can get an idea of where you're tuning in from. We've got Brenny tuning in from Minnesota. And it is cold in New York. I'll bet it is cold in New York. That's actually one of the reasons why I exit stage left and head to Maui, which I'm doing in about 2 weeks. I'm going to Maui for a month to spend, breaking up the winter so that I can get a little bit of sunshine. We've got Blanca. This Facebook Lives are awesome. Thank you so much. Absolutely happy to help. Hello from Maryland. Great to have you here. Pete Lowen, come on down. Pete Lowen is in the house. David Tilley, how are you, sir? Good to see you here. Rakeem is tuning in today, and we have Laura Wall. I'm sure there's going to be some more people throwing some comments there. Guys, I want to talk to you today about something that people don't really talk about, this concept, because it really has to do with things that are way deeper than what you may even understand right now. And that has to do with your actual belief, okay? And I want to talk to you today a little bit about why your belief is actually creating your reality, okay? Now, this could go either way, guys, okay? Because there's two worlds that are parallel that exist both at the same time. Right over here, you got everything you want, and right over here, you got everything that you don't want. And the thing that you have to understand is that when it comes to business, you either win or you lose, okay, in any type of a business situation. And it's all based upon your belief, okay? So you actually win or lose prior to even going into a meeting. You win or lose prior to getting on a call with your prospect. You win or lose prior to going out and getting an investor or a sponsor. The winning or the losing is done way before the meeting actually even happens, okay? So the thing that people don't get about this whole concept, guys, when it comes to business, is that whatever you believe to be true will be true for you, okay? So in other words, when you start something, like, I teach people how to make $1,000 a day on Facebook, right? With no paid ads. And a lot of people will read that and they'll go, yeah, right? Because they don't believe that it's even possible before they even get started, okay? Until all of a sudden, they see an avalanche of all these success stories from people that have never marketed a day in their life before, that just believed that they could do it, and they followed the exact steps, and lo and behold, they start having $1,000 days on the internet, okay? Now, I'm not talking about going out and spending money on paid traffic or solo ads or Facebook ads or YouTube ads or SEO or figuring out some other tech thing. I'm talking about just with Facebook, right? Just with the Facebook wall, that this is really possible to be able to make $1,000 a day using your Facebook profile. Okay. And I'm not talking even about fan pages. I'm talking about just your regular Facebook profile. And once you understand how the blueprint works and how the formula works, anybody could do this, guys. Literally. In fact, when my son was only about, I think he was at 16 years old, I taught him this formula, and in 10 days, he made $2,069, right, using the formula. And, he didn't have any tech skills. He didn't know, anything about Facebook at all. He set up a brand new Facebook account, and those were the results that happened in a very, very short period of time. Okay. So who do we got here? We've got David Linares says, yo, 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 what's happening? Rose tuning in. Great to connect there last night, Rose. Hopefully you enjoyed your movie. Dr. Payne tuning in. Hello, all. And Rakeem says, yes, sir. Guys, one of the reasons why I wanted to do this particular broadcast in front of that picture that's behind me is that Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest boxers ever of all time. Okay. But I want you to really look back at the dialogue that he used all the time, right? He always said, I am the greatest, right? I am the greatest, right? And he literally spoke his reality into existence. He had the whole mantra of, I float like a butterfly and I sting like a bee, right? And that's what he did. He would do his prance all the way around the boxing ring, and then all of a sudden, pow, right? He would just knock people out. And he literally spoke his reality into existence for his entire career, right? And he's known now as one of the greatest boxers of all time. Okay. Now, is that a coincidence? Is my question. Is it a coincidence that was the reality that forged forward? I don't believe that it was a coincidence. We as human beings speak our realities into existence. So whatever you believe about your business, whether or not it's bringing somebody in as an affiliate or selling somebody your products, whatever it is that you're marketing, your products don't matter in our particular industry. They just have to work, right? They just have to work. They got to be competitively priced, and the compensation plan has to be fair. But it's not about that, guys. It's not even about your products and your company, your comp plan, and the rest of the things that people think that it is. Those are the broke people. It's really about the value that you provide to the marketplace as a leader, okay? And what makes you unique and different and special in the marketplace compared to all of the hundreds of millions of other people that are out there marketing whatever, right? Some of these companies have hundreds of thousands or millions of distributors or affiliates. And in the event that you do what all the broke people do, right, there's a high probability you're going to be the next broke person too, right? So the numbers would not be at 97% failure rate, guys. If all those people that were out there were doing it right, they would be making money, and they're not, right? So that's a clear indicator of, you want to get around the successful people and find out the strategies that they're doing. Okay. And I can tell you that all the 7-figure income earners and the 8-figure income earners that I hang out with, they don't do what everybody else does. They don't do what everybody else does. They never promote their primary business on the front end, which is what everybody does that makes no money. Okay. Christian says, belief is everything. Absolutely. Angeline says, that's right. We do speak our realities into existence. It's very, very important to understand this if you're ever going to be a successful entrepreneur, guys, is that your belief is going to determine your results. And your belief happens prior to your action steps. The belief happens prior to your action steps. So whatever you believe is going to happen, whatever you believe that your results will be, is what you're going to manifest into the reality. And the way that this actually works, just so that you understand how it breaks down, is that when you come out with some type of a belief, okay, so you believe that there's going to be a specific type of result that is generated from an action step, okay, so your belief is going forward with an emotional connection, and your subconscious mind now will actually bring into the reality the people, places, and events to make it congruent. Okay. So the belief goes in the front, and the emotional connection goes to the belief. And now your subconscious mind aligns with whatever the belief is to reconfigure the whole reality to determine the people, places, things, circumstances that are going to show up into your life to confirm the result that you already believed, right? So when you really think about how this whole process works, it makes sense. It makes sense. So in order to change your result, you have to first change your belief of what's possible, what your outcome is going to be before you even start. Okay. Now, a couple weeks ago, I was doing this one particular broadcast about, how I went to this fire walk with, a buddy of mine. We went to Atlanta to the Tony Robbins fire walk, and how when I walked in the front door of this massive stadium and the energy force, I already believed, I believed walking in the door that Tony was going to sign my journal, right? And he told me that it wasn't possible. That wasn't possible because Tony was surrounded by guards and security and everything else. And it wasn't going to even be a potential for this to be able to happen. But I believed that it was going to happen. And if you followed that particular Facebook Live and you listened to the whole story, guys, it was on the last possible seconds, okay, as Tony was turning around and saying goodnight to everybody, that I was right there, and I went, Tony, and he exited out through the curtains, okay? Now, in the event that you don't take the action steps, right, to be congruent with whatever the belief is, of course, you're not going to get any results. Okay. Business is about taking action, and you have to be monitoring and tweaking your strategy and honing it in as you're going to be able to get the results that you want. So, in other words, if you believe that it's going to happen, but you don't look at your data, right, and you don't make some type of adjustments as you're going to hone in, right, to be able to master the skill, then you got a problem. You got a problem. So what happens is that people, what they do in the early stages of their business is they actually set themselves up for failure. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? So in other words, if you set forward, so you're making, say, $5,000 or $7,000 a month in corporate America, and you set forward and you go, you know what? I believe I'm going to make $50,000 this month, right? But your subconscious mind has zero data, right, on that particular belief of what you're going to do. So it's like this big, empty, gaping hole. Okay. So in other words, you work full time, whatever it is that you do, and make $5,000 to $7,000 a month in corporate America. But you say, I believe that in 30 days, I'm going to make 50 grand. Okay. Your subconscious mind has no data at all, no data, right, to be able to pull from. So what I did when I first got started on the internet is that I set little tiny milestones that I could believe that I could do. Now, keep in mind, guys, I got zero tech skills, literally the tech skills of a 2-year-old child. And I'm not kidding when I tell you that. I outsource anything that's technical to, a tech person, right? And I just delegate that over to them and they do that type of stuff. Because when I first got started, okay, I didn't know how to use a computer and I didn't know anything and didn't even know how to type. I still type like this with 2 fingers. So just to copy and paste an autoresponder series into my Aweber account, it took me about 3 weeks. Okay, this is a true story. 3 weeks, 8 hours a day, just to try to copy and paste and drop them into the autoresponder and attach my links, right? So highlight something, find the link thing, put my link in, and do my autoresponder. So 3 weeks of my time, guys, right? And it was at that point that I said, okay, this isn't for me. I'm going to outsource this to somebody else, okay? So here's what I did. Now, I recommend this, right? You can do whatever strategy that you want to do. I'm telling you, this worked very, very well for me on my path to get to my goal, which is I wanted to be able to make 7 figures on the internet, right? And just from my Facebook wall, I've already been able to generate over $1.6 million. So I can tell you the strategy works, okay? So step number 1, right? First thing that I did was I picked a little tiny number, okay, that I could believe. So I said, okay, I'm going to make 50 bucks for 3 days in a row. Okay, that was my first goal. And then once I did that, I went check. And then I said, okay, I'm going to make 100 bucks for 3 days in a row. And once I did that, I went check. And then I went 200 for 3 days in a row, 300 for 3 days in a row, until I got all the way up to 1,000 for 3 days in a row. Okay. Once I hit 1,000 for 3 days in a row, I upped it to 2,000 3 days in a row, 3,000 3 days in a row, 4,000 3 days in a row, 5,000 3 days in a row, until I got all the way up to 10,000 3 days in a row. Now, keep in mind, when I said I was going to do $50 3 days in a row, by the end of that particular month, maybe I made $750. Because if it was 50, 25, 75, that didn't count, right? It was 50 bucks for 3 days in a row to check, right? Now, what was I doing along the path? What was I doing along that particular journey? I was creating data, guys. Data for my subconscious mind to believe that I could actually do this. So typically what happens is people get online and they have no data at all. And instead of, targeting the pain of the marketplace and providing some sort of solution to all the people, what they do is they go out and they pitch their particular company all over the internet. And they're literally eliminating over 95% of all the qualified buyers that could be interested in whatever it is that they're marketing, because they don't understand the concept of marketing. Very, very important to understand this. Okay, so what do we got here? What do we got? We got Rakeem says big facts. The big boom. The big boom. Steve says, hey, Darren, how are you, sir? Tuning in from the Bay Area in California. I love California. Dwayne says, hello. I always visualize the results. Awesome. Awesome, Dwayne. Viewing from frozen Northwest Ohio. Well, I'm glad I'm not in the frozen zone. I'm on the West Coast, and we don't get hit really with winter until we move into December, and that's when I exit stage left and go spend some time visiting my parents in Maui. So what's the secret, guys? What's the secret, right? You really have to look at what are your core beliefs, right? So in other words, if you're doing $5,000 to $7,000 a month in corporate America, working full time, okay, full time, and then you say that you want to make $50,000 a month working part time, okay, this is what happens with your subconscious mind. Yeah, right. And then nothing happens. Okay, so you'll finish off the month and there'll be no results at all. Okay. You'll go another month and there'll be no results at all. Well, why is that? Because the data that you currently have inside your subconscious mind is not congruent with this new belief that you're putting out, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So you got to start putting some data into your subconscious mind, guys. This is the thing. And data is results. That's how data is created, is from results, right? So the results that generated over a period of time built up enough data to the point where I could set an intention, right, that I was going to say make $100,000 in a 30-day period of time. And I was pulling from all the data of all the different campaigns that I had already run. That's what my subconscious mind was pulling from. You see how this works, guys? So a lot of people, what they do in a couple things is number one, they set themselves up for failure right out of the gate because they're not congruent, right? Or they say, you know what, I'll bet this isn't going to work for me. It didn't work before. I tried a bunch of these things before, but then they see a whole bunch of stories and they go, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'll bet it's not going to work. I'll bet it's not going to work. I'll bet I'm not going to be able to make any money, right? So they're literally speaking their reality into existence. And then they're shocked when 30, 60, 90, 120 days, 6 months, a year goes by and they haven't made a penny. Why do you think that is? Because their belief before they even started was that it was not going to work. Okay. And so the subconscious mind now is going to pull all the people, places, and things to confirm what the belief was prior to you getting started. Okay. Now, it works the other way too, though, because in the event that you set an intention and that intention is pulling from zero data from your subconscious mind, whoops, you got a problem. You got a problem, right? So what do we got here? We've got Dr. Payne, me too. This tech stuff is tough. Getting data for the subconscious. You know, this is really the key, guys. You know, most 7-figure income earners use products from either ClickBank or from JVZoo that are going to target every one of the verticals, right? And they typically will use that as a funding mechanism to, you know, build their list, pay for their ad campaign, and anything to do with mindset, personal development, leadership, lead generation, recruiting strategies, closing, upselling techniques, the training that people actually need, right, in order to be successful in any one of the verticals. That's really what should be building your business. So number one, you learn all the skills yourself. And then number two, all of your teammates are learning all the skills as well. So now you're getting an army of marketers that know what the heck they're doing, right? So when you roll out your campaign, it's more like that goes global instead of, you know, your next door neighbor and, you know, your cousin and your mom, right? People that have never marketed a day in their life before, but you're all excited about your product and that's what the company told you to do. So you just, you know, do the worker bee. Okay, I'm going to do what the company told me, right? Those are typically the broke people, guys. Our particular industry, just so you know, is what's considered to be a niche market. A niche market, right? And that niche market is within a bigger niche market of personal development. So the market overall in our industry is a personal development model, okay? And then within that is typically going to be the MLM industry, affiliate marketing, network marketing, direct sales. That's within the personal development industry, okay? Now, if you've studied personal development, right, I first started in personal development when I was in my early 20s. And I can tell you that having worked with a number of named people in the industry, it's actually less than 10% of the human population, just so you know. Okay, 10%. So out of every 100 people, there's only going to be 10 out of every 100 that even or want a better life, that even want to go to the next level. It's 10 out of every 100, right? And the 90, the only time that they're going to switch from the 90 over to the 10 is when they've reached a breaking point in their life. Okay, or they're in a transitionary stage of uncertainty, right? A career change, a layoff, a downsizing, a move, a divorce. Those are all transitionary stages of a person's life. And that's the only time that they even start going online looking to see what's available or what's out there, right? Transition or breaking point. So, just knowing that and understanding that, guys, that can literally save you about 5 years of spinning your wheels, of trying to convince the 9 to 5ers that are not in our industry that you have a better way. Okay, don't even bother. You're going to waste your time, and you're going to get into a lot of these, right? And a lot of these pushing matches back and forth. It's not necessary. Okay, just specifically provide value to the people that are already in our business model on all the things that they're having challenges with or struggling. And that's how you go right to the top, right? Super, super fast. Like this last rollout that we just did in a 30-day period of time, we put over 6,000 people into that rollout. Right? And we didn't do any ads, guys. No paid ads, no Facebook ads, no boosted posts, nothing. Right? We just used the power of Facebook and understanding how the business model actually works. Okay. Okay. So your belief, right? Now, what do you do to be able to start to change whatever your belief is, right? The first thing, the first number one thing is you have to look at either your particular company that you're in, or you have to go industry wide. And you've got to pick 5 people that already have the type of lifestyle that you want. And you've got to start to sort of be the detective. You got to start to look at the strategies that they're doing. And one of the easiest and fastest ways to do that, guys, quite frankly, is to, edify them, reach out, touch base, say a quick hello, right? Build a little bit of rapport and see if there's some way that you can do an interview. Okay. People don't realize that successful people actually really want to help other people. Right? They think in their mind that because a person's already achieved a certain level of success, that they're in some other sort of bubble over here, right? But any person that has achieved, these higher levels of wealth, they're on a mission to help the people. They're on a mission to help the people, right? So, that to me is like the fastest path is to be able to learn the 7-figure secrets. What did the 7-figure income earners do to go from here to here, right? What was their strategy? And they're happy to share these concepts and ideas, right? So all you've got to do is just do an interview, right? I mean, it seems like the most simple concept, the most basic idea, but most people just don't do it. Okay. It requires you to step into your power and step into leadership and stop playing the victim, guys. Okay. There's no money at all in our industry in victimhood. Okay. It's an industry of personal power. So just by getting around this core group of people in your circle, they will start to give you the books to read, the audios to listen to, the strategies that they're doing. You'll start to pick up on various different posting skills on Facebook or copywriting skills, storytelling. What do they do on Facebook Lives to be able to engage the audience so that the audience stays around, right? And that's really the key. This is the key, guys. So your belief won't change until you change the belief, okay? And you can do that fast by engulfing yourself into personal development, by being aware of your thoughts, words, and emotions. What is your self-talk? What is your self-talk going on each day? Are you going to be like this guy right here behind me? He said, I am the greatest. I am the greatest, right? And guess what? When people think of Muhammad Ali, he's one of the greatest boxers of all time, okay? We speak our realities into existence. So my question to you is, what do you believe? What do you believe about your business, and what data are you pulling from? What data are you pulling from? You know, I tell people that the best thing that you can do is the, little increment strategy like what I did, because you're building the data as you're going, right? Another thing is, make your first goal just to replace your income. Okay. So in other words, if you're only making $3,000 a month, set your intention to replace your current income. Now, you may do that in 3 days. You may do it in 2 weeks, right? But at least you have data that you can pull from your subconscious mind, because you're already making $3,000. So you set your intention to replace your current income. Okay. Now, once you replace it, you're going to be on a different step now. You're going to have a different perspective of everything around you, right? But what you've done in essence is you've doubled your income. You see how this works? So you went from $3,000 to $6,000. So now you're looking at the reality from a totally different level. So now you may want to say that you want to now double that. So you go from 3 to 6 to 12, right? And they're little increment steps, but you're collecting data all the way along the path, along the way, right? So guys, hopefully you got some value from this. If you did, throw me a comment down there below. If you think other people can get value from it too, share this out with the people. That is truly the goal, is to help transform other people's lives, guys, other people's lives. And that's how you truly know in our industry if you've gotten to any level of success, because the leader leads from the front. But the goal of the leader isn't to get more followers. The goal of the leader is to create more leaders, guys. That is the thing that you have to understand about this particular industry, okay? Okay, real quick here. Steven says, hello, how are you? What do we got here? We're here to serve and help others, and profit is not a bad word. Quote from Lee Iacocca. On that particular note, you can tell in most cases, unless you're dealing with the 7-figure income earners that are trying to get you to take out business loans, max out your credit cards, and upgrade and buy more traffic. Okay, those are the shysters, guys. You want to stay clear of those people. You always want to find a minimum of 5 stories of newbies, brand new newbies, never marketed a day in their life, that they've been able to take to freedom. Okay, 0 to 100,000, 0 to 250,000, 0 to 500,000. I'm talking brand new newbies, guys. And if they don't have any, you got a problem. Okay, you want to protect your wallet, protect your credit card. But normally, when you see somebody that's making money, you should also be seeing these showcased other people that are their students on their wall of the success stories of people that are learning whatever they're getting taught. And if there aren't any, Houston, you got a problem, okay? Houston, you got a problem, okay? Angeline says, massive value. Thank you so much, Angeline. Appreciate that. Dr. Payne says, good stuff. Facebook user says, excellent value. Guys, I appreciate you. Right now, we're at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. It's already past dinner on the East Coast. And if you're global, you could be at midnight or someplace even, into the morning already. And I appreciate you spending this bit of time with me today. And I hope that you got some takeaways and some value on today's broadcast. Please share this out with the people so we can help transform people's lives. Just one person, guys, one person that you help transform their life. That, my friends, is what a superhero is really all about. Guys, my name is Darren Little from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and let's go get it. Have a good one. All the best.